In the New York Herald, November 26, year 1911, there is an account of the hanging of 3 men. They died for the murder of Sir Edmund William Godfrey, husband, father, pharmacist, and all-around gentleman resident of Greenberry Hill, London. He was murdered by 3 vagrants whose motive was simple robbery. They were identified as Joseph Green, Stanley Berry, and Daniel Hill. Green, Berry, Hill. And I would like to think this was only a matter of chance. As reported in the Reno Gazette, June of 1983, there is the story of a fire, the water that it took to contain the fire, and a scuba diver named Delmer Darien, employee of the Nugget Hotel and Casino, Reno, Nevada, engaged as a blackjack dealer, well-liked and well-regarded as a physical, recreational, and sporting sort. Delmer's true passion was for the lake. As reported by the coroner, Delmer died of a heart attack somewhere between the lake and the tree. But most curious side note is the suicide the next day of Craig Hansen, volunteer firefighter, estranged father of 4, and a poor tendency to drink. Mr. Hansen was the pilot of the plane that quite accidentally lifted Delmer Darien out of the water. Added to this, Mr. Hansen's tortured life met before with Delmer Darien just 2 nights previous.
All I need is a 2.
All you need is a deuce. All right.
That is an 8.
Glad you like my work. All right. Moment of truth.
The weight of the guilt and the measure of coincidence so large, Craig Hansen took his life. And I am trying to think this was all only a matter of chance. The tale told at a 1961 awards dinner for the American Association of Forensic Science by Dr. John Harper, president of the association, began with a simple suicide attempt. 17-year-old Sidney Barringer in the city of Los Angeles on March 23, 1958. The coroner ruled that the unsuccessful suicide had suddenly become a successful homicide. To explain, the suicide was confirmed by a note in the right hip pocket of Sidney Barringer. At the same time young Sidney stood on the ledge of this 9-story building, an argument swelled 3 stories below. The neighbors heard, as they usually did, the arguing of the tenants, and it was not uncommon for them to threaten each other with a shotgun or one of the many handguns kept in the house. And when the shotgun accidentally went off, Sidney just happened to pass.
What?
Shut the fuck up!
Added to this, the 2 tenants turned out to be Fay and Arthur Barringer, Sidney's mother and Sidney's father. When confronted with the charge, which took some figuring out for the officers on the scene of the crime, Fay Barringer swore that she did not know the gun was loaded.
She always threatens me with a gun, but I don't keep it loaded.
And you didn't load the gun?
Why would I load the gun?
A young boy who lived in the building, sometimes a visitor and friend to Sidney Barringer, said that he had seen, 6 days prior, the loading of the shotgun.
Ricky, come here a minute.
It seems that all the arguing and fighting and all of the violence was far too much for Sidney Barringer, and knowing his mother and father's tendency to fight, he decided to do something.
He said that he wanted them to kill each other, and that's all that they wanted to do is to kill each other, and that he would help them do that if that's what they wanted to do.
Sidney Barringer jumps from the 9th floor rooftop. His parents argue 3 stories below. Her accidental shotgun blast hits Sidney in the stomach as he passes the arguing 6th floor window. He is killed instantly, but continues to fall, only to find, 5 stories below, a safety net installed 3 days prior for a set of window washers that would have broken his fall and saved his life, if not for the hole in his stomach. So Faye Barringer was charged with the murder of her son, and Sidney Barringer noted as an accomplice in his own death. And it is in the humble opinion of this narrator that this is not just something that happened. This cannot be one of those things. This, please, cannot be that. And for what I would like to say, I can't. This was not just a matter of chance. These strange things happen all the time.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 2 can be as bad as 1. It's the loneliest number since the number 1.
In this big game